Receive the highest value and unmatched security for the remittance sent by your loved ones abroad from People's Bank. Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account.
Brightening the future of both village and city. Millions of rupees for the development of the nation. Strengthening the agri-heart of the nation. Prospering lives. Ensuring safety. Presenting the highest cash award. Strengthening the nation. Mahajana Sampatha. Ensuring prosperity. Mahajana Sampatha from the National Lotteries Board.
Receive the highest value and unmatched security for the remittance sent by your loved ones abroad from People's Bank. Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Malavara, generated by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. Minister Basil Rajapaksa reassures EPF and ETF will be exempted from the one-time tax surcharge. The BIMSTEC summit will be held in Colombo on the 31st of March. The President has instructed the officials to pay attention on launching a transport service covering tourism zones. COVID deaths increased in Sri Lanka. Media Minister condemns the attack targeting journalists. A special police team has been deployed to investigate the looting of ancient relics from the Kotavihara Rajamaha Vihare in Rambukana. News overseas, a police killed man wielding knife at Paris station. In sports, Kamila Valieva loved to compete at Winter Olympics in Beijing after case hearing. And those are the headlines. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed the officials to pay attention on launching a transport service covering tourism zones. He said that all train compartments that have not been used so far should be added to the service. The President said attention should be paid on using electric buses. President Rajapaksa pointed out it is important to pay attention on the fuel prices and crisis and environmental issues. The President mentioned this during the Progress Review meeting on the transport sector, which took place yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat. Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa has explained and assured the Cabinet of Ministers that 11 funds, including the Employees Provident Fund (EPF) and the Employees Trust Fund (ETF), will be exempted from the one-time tax surcharge of 25% proposed in the 2022 budget. It had been prepared or proposed in the 2022 budget to impose a 25% surcharge tax on individuals and companies earning an annual taxable income of rupees 2,000 million or more. It is to be a one-time tax payable by high-value taxpayers in 2022 for their income in the tax year of 2020 and 2021, while the objective of this special tax was to raise the necessary revenue to finance the government expenditure programs for the year distributed. Concerns were subsequently voiced by experts, opposition politicians, as well as the members of the government itself that the Employees Provident Fund and the Employees Trust Fund would also be subjected to this 25% surcharge tax, as any fund that exceeds 2 billion rupees taxable income would be subjected to this surcharge tax. However, making a special statement to the media yesterday, the Minister of Finance, Basil Rajapaksa, said he assured that the Cabinet, during its meeting last evening, that 11 funds, including the EPF and the ETF, will not be subjected to this surcharge tax. He said that clearly, at a time, the government expected to generate a revenue of around 100 billion rupees from this surcharge tax, and that accordingly, they identified 69 companies and individuals who will be subjected to this tax. A special police team has been deployed to investigate the looting of ancient relics from Kothavihara Rajamaha Vihare in Rambukkana. Police spokesman SSP Nihal Taldua said the police team has been deployed on the directive of the Inspector General of Police. 5 gold caskets and 3 crystal caskets kept at the Kothavihara Rajamaha Vihare were reportedly stolen on Saturday. According to the Department of Archaeology, the stolen caskets were first found during excavations carried out in 1956 and 2000. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Many parties condemn the attack which took place targeting journalist Chamudita Samaravikrama. Media organizations for the press freedom and many veteran journalists say it is a threat to the press freedom in the country. They request to hold an independent investigation in this regard. Media Minister Dalasala Perama also condemned the attack. The minister instructed the IGP to accelerate the investigations in this regard. The Piliyandala residence of journalist Chamudita Samaravikrama was attacked early last morning. At least 4 men had attacked the residence using stones, and Samaravikrama, his wife and child were in the house at the time of the attack took place. According to Samaravikrama's wife, the group of attackers had arrived in a white vehicle. They had threatened the security officer of the housing complex where the journalist is residing. One man had held what seemed to be a gun at the security officer and forced him to open the gate and not alert anyone, while the others went to the house of the journalist. Vice Chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board, Dumind Priyadarshana, says that the present government has given the highest price for the paddy in the history. Once the government is elected, the government has increased the minimum amount for a kilogram of paddy to 50 rupees. The government has given the opportunity for the farmers to obtain more than 90 rupees per kilogram of paddy at present. The Bay of Bengal Initiative for the Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, the BIMSTEC Summit, will be held in Colombo on the 31st of March. The Sri Lankan government has invited Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the BIMSTEC Summit in Colombo next month. Speaking during the media briefing in Colombo yesterday, Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Piri said the heads of state of Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar and Thailand were also invited to attend the summit. He said Minister of Finance Basil Rajapaksa visited India in December and held discussions with his counterpart Nirmala Sitharaman and Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar. He added as a result of the discussions, India provided $2.4 billion to Sri Lanka. Minister Piri stated Minister Basil Rajapaksa will also have to visit India once again in 2 weeks in order to sign the relevant agreements and obtain the funds promptly. The Health Ministry reported that 36 deaths due to COVID-19 have been registered for yesterday in Sri Lanka. Thereby, the total number of deaths due to COVID-19 in the country has risen to 15,844. The Health Ministry said that deceased include 6 people between the ages of 30 to 59 and 30 people above the age of 60 years. The ministry added that the victims consist of 20 men and 16 women. And that's local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Parliamentarian Sanjeev Edriman urges the politicians not to mislead people over the EPF by spreading false information. He says that many people have forgotten the way that the Good Governance government treated the fund. He says that he is ready to debate with anyone in this regard. And that was top news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Washlight, motorists complain that the almost all road diggings executed for various reasons have not been repaired up to the standard. Many of those road damages not repaired even up to the safe level. Those road diggings have created potholes and led to possible severe accidents as well. Telecommunications, electricity, water services providing companies mainly damages the roads for their expansion and distribution purposes. After the process, the companies or the third-party contractors do not repair the roads correctly. And that came to you in Washlight. And up next is World News. The police killed the man wielding knife at Paris station. Scott Morrison criticised by New Zealand banned over song use. Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman dies aged 75. And those are the headlines of the world news. French police have shot dead a man wielding a knife which threatened them at Paris' No train station. The man attacked two police officers on patrol at the station with a 30-centimeter knife, police said. An anti-police inscription was found on the man's knife, reports say. No police officers were injured in this incident. A New Zealand band has hit out at Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison for performing what they called a cynical rendition of their song. Rock band Dragon said his cover of April's Sun in Cuba was an attempt to humanize come election time. He performed the 1977 hit song as a part of the pre-election interview. The segment showed Mr. Morrison strumming and singing the start of the chorus before admitting he would not remember the rest. Filmmaker Ivan Reitman, who directed blockbuster comedies including the original Ghostbusters, has died at the age of 75. After his family fled communist oppression in post-war Czechoslovakia, Reitman grew up in Canada, where he trained in filmmaking. His first break came when he produced the 1978 Frat House comedy National Lampoon's Animal House. And that's world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Ministry of Environment launched a tree planting program in 2021 called A Plant for Love. It has planted 50,000 me saplings island-wide. Minister of Environment Mahinda Amaravira expressed these views while participating in a Plant for Love tree planting program held at Sri Lanka University of Technology, Paduka, yesterday. He said young people were planting trees yesterday, giving a new meaning to Valentine's Day. And that came to you in Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928. Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Kamila Valieva can compete again at the Winter Olympics after sport's highest court ruled exceptional circumstances meant the 15-year-old Russian figure skater should not be provisionally suspended for a failed drug test. The Court of Arbitration for Sport pointed to age and issues around timing of the test result announcement in the reasons for its ruling. But critics have questioned why an athlete who has filed a drug case or test is being allowed to compete on the world's biggest stage. Valieva, who returned a positive test for the angina prevention drug on 25th December last year, had been provisionally suspended on 8th February. And that was Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP You Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
John Keel's Properties partnered with AGC Innovative Private Limited to incorporate plastic-modified concrete paving into its construction projects, including Crescent and Cinnamon Life, supported by John Keel's Holdings Social Entrepreneurship Project. Plastic Cycle, the new partnership with AGC Innovate, aims to help solve Sri Lanka's plastic waste crisis. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB You Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka and Belarus have decided to reactivate bilateral cooperation and have also discussed about the next sittings of the Intergovernmental Commission and political consultation. The ambassador to Russia, Professor Janita A. Renege, concurrently accredited to the Republic of Belarus, held a number of meetings with the Belarusian authorities during her official visit. In the framework of a stay in Minsk, the ambassador presented letters of credentials to the President of the Republic of Belarus. And that came to you in Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The Met Department says showery condition is expected to be reduced in northern, north central and eastern provinces in next few days. Showers or thundershowers may occur at several places in southern province and Ratnapura district during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Before we wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. Minister Basil Rajapaksa reassures EPF and ETF will be exempted from the one-time tax surcharge. The BIMSTEC summit will be held in Colombo on the 31st of March. The President has instructed the officials to pay attention on launching a transport service covering tourism zones. COVID deaths increased in Sri Lanka. Media Minister condemns the attack targeting journalists. A special police team has been deployed to investigate the looting of ancient relics from the Kotavahera Rajamaha Viharya in Rambukada. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. It's back to sound the tower to keep you company with the rest of the programs this Tuesday morning.